answer questions related to content. The really good, the really meaty ones. So I'll go to answer tab. All right, Harut, Mr. Hormozi and Kirby, thank you for the 100. We grew our community to 50K a month cash collected. That's awesome. Question is, if you start all over again on Skool, would you start with content and focus 100% on, or paid ads, or both at this level? Honestly, it depends on your. This is actually a great content piece. It actually depends on your time horizon. So if you're like, I have to make money in the next 30 days, then you're pretty much going to have to do outreach or paid ads. Now, if you don't have the skill of paid ads, it's unlikely you're going to get paid ads to work in 30 days. It's very unlikely you're probably going to waste a lot of money. So it'd probably have to be outbound. That'd probably be the fastest way. And that's why we have the rule of 300. It's like you post and then you do a ton of outbound off of any engagements you have and on other people's content, right? That's the fastest ways. You just want to get as much exposure as you can for as cheap as possible. If I had to start all over again, which I did, then I'll tell you what I did, which was I started making content with the intention of having a very long time horizon. When I started making YouTube, I literally said, I'll find out in 10 years if I'll keep doing it. And the guy that was doing my vendor at the time was like, I've literally never had anyone say that to me. And I was like, I believe you. And there's also a reason that I grew bigger than all of the people who paid him put together. And so I think that, but a lot of you guys aren't patient. I'm being super real with you. A lot of you guys aren't patient. A lot of you guys are like, I have to make it the next 90 days or I'm not going to do it, which is probably why most people fail. They just like, they can't wait. But if you can actually extend your time horizon even to 12 months, you can almost guarantee success. That's what's crazy about it. If you can wait 12 months, it's just most of you can't even wait 12 days. Like you can't even do, like you can do consistent action for 2 weeks and then you give up. Like if you look at the average, like New Year's resolution, most people give up by the second week in January. And so you just got to make it through there. And so if I were to do it all over again, I would do what I did when I started all over again, which is I would build a big brand and I would do it based on an aspirational outcome, which means that work, do shit that's epic, and either talk about how you had an epic failure and how much work you did, or the epic outcome. But either way, epic amounts of work will create an epic story. And this is what I think you guys missed. There's a very like big point there. The epic work is a constant and will make all of your content better because what you learn through repetitions is the nuance. When you eat, like I promise you this, there's a buddy of mine. This is a weird example. A buddy's buddy. I'll put it that way. His dad only drinks Budweiser. Okay, only drinks Budweiser. Has for like 40 years. All he drinks. He can tell because he's only drank Budweiser for so long how fresh the bottle is and like where it was bottled because he's been drinking Budweiser for that long. And so I bring this up to say, when you do something over and over and over and over again, you tend to develop these nuances. And those nuances are what differentiate you from everyone else who's spewing out fluff. So that's what I would do, Harut. All right. Lonnie or Loney? I have a framework in mind to stem my YouTube. I'm guessing that means grow. School and product. Okay, cool. So should I make my content based on that framework or related topics? I really want to help people. I'm worried about giving too much without getting my value back. Dude, that last line is why you're not going to make it. And I don't mean to be heavy-handed. I will read the last line to everybody. I'm worried about giving too, so, okay, I'll read the whole thing. I really want to help people, but I'm worried about giving too much without getting my value back. I don't know where you've been, dude. I don't know if you've consumed any of my content, man. You got to give, man. You got to give your best stuff and you got to keep giving it. And then you force yourself to level up and learn other ways to create value. So think about it like this. You have to give away value for free and get people a result for free so that they will then pay you for the next problem they want to solve. If you can only solve one problem, very difficult to make money. But when you solve two, you can solve the first one for free and then upsell the second one. When you can solve 10 problems, you give 9 away for free and upsell the most valuable one. The more problems you can solve, the more you can give away, the more goodwill that you build in an audience, the more likely it is that they'll buy your thing. All right, Lenny, I need you to like kill that. I know that you're here. I need you to kill that mentality 100%. Like the entire tit for tat, it's never going to work, dude. If I try to ask for something from everybody in my audience, like I'm never going to get back proportional to what I've helped people make. I can't. It's never going to happen. If I could, I'd already be just as rich as Elon, right? I can't. There's too many people, and I can't. So you have to, like you said, you want to help a lot of people, then help a lot of people, and some of them will pay you, and some of them won't, and that's okay because you're going to die. And no one's going to remember you anyways. I'm going to answer Steph's little question in the chat. What if your problem is solving? What if your business is solving one problem? You have to break the problem into smaller chunks. So if I sell, like if you sell a house, right? You sell a house, it's one thing that you do. That's the problem you solve. But the thing is that when you sell a house, there's many small things that occur in order to sell a house. And so you want to think about the things immediately prior, during, and after that occur with a house selling that you want to solve ahead of time. Well, they're going to want somebody who's going to do little fix-its and doodads. They're going to want somebody who can maybe do some light aesthetic changes that can disproportionately add value to the house. They're going to want somebody who can professionally clean it. They might want somebody who can stage the house. They might someone who could do landscaping. They might not even understand the sales process. They might not know what price they can sell their house for. Like these are all many problems that someone who wants to sell their house will need solved. And so this is a chunking up, chunking down problem. Because fundamentally, it's like if I'm B2B, they just want to make more money. So as soon as I make them more money, they're not going to want to pay me. No, there's many ways to make money, and there's many steps to doing that. And we have to this is, again, a nuance of understanding. The more you understand the nature of the problem that you solve, the more you realize there's many steps involved in it, and you can peel off pieces of it, give that away for free. Then they're 1 or 2 steps into the multi-step process, and they will pay you to help them solve the rest. Alexander Geramonalis. Geramonalis. I think it's Greek. I'm going with it. What would you say is the most effortless way to create high quality content that gets seen so it is maintainable over the long term, not against heavy lifting, but there's always smarter ways. Dude, just make good shit. Your efficiency will come from doing more of it. I'm serious. Your efficiency will come from doing more of it. The most effortless thing you can do is find the platform that you're already native on. If you already spend time consuming on one platform, you already are halfway there. You already know what content kind of does better than others, and you'll automatically format your stuff a little bit better. And as soon as you become a creator, it will permanently change how you consume content because you will start seeing it as a creator, not as a consumer. So I think that's probably the biggest gift you can have is just as soon as you hit post, you will start seeing everyone else differently. But like, dude, effortless, like it's all work, man. And the getting more for what you put in is leverage, which I think is good, but leverage is going to come from skill, and skill comes from repetition. So don't try and solve for skill, solve for volume, and then skill will occur. Okay. Fabio. Koke. Or cough. Anyways, after conducting thorough research and understanding what people want, such as their desires, pains, barriers, is it better to create content based on those struggles to help them solve them? Sure. Yes. 100%. Make content, like solve your customers' problems with your content. They will, if they believe you for free, they'll believe you for money. Victor, you have a good skill making presentations that support your story to tell. What is your advice in making and using presentations? I think I would need more context here. So it's like, if you want to make a video sales letter, that's a good place for a presentation. If you have a sales pitch that a lot of guys will go through, having presentations is good. Anytime that having visual aids will help someone understand more easily, and if everybody has more similar process that they have to go through, then that's where visual aids can be important or useful. If you have more customized solutions and different types of customers, then custom will likely mean not pre-prepared, and you'll have to do it on the fly, which requires more skill. But a lot of times you start there and then you derive the presentations by looking at the common themes of every conversation, right? So like I might have many different women, but a calorie deficit is a calorie deficit. And so I can explain that portion of my pitch the same way. And so you may have some aspects of a presentation that are custom, and then you can transition to something that might be your solution, which will be very similar between different customers. So they don't have to repeat yourself, or you can just enhance your verbal presentation with visual aids. Donnie, should I and how can I create content on schools to drive more traffic to my community? School communities are my target audience, but I don't want to break any school guidelines. Self-promoting, it's been tough to balance this. Should I avoid using school as a traffic source altogether? I hope. Okay. Okay. Think about it like this. Don't make content to attract school owners to your community. Become a valuable member of the school community by talking about problems that you solved. And I would remove CTAs. So don't put call to actions. People figure it out. All right. So like, I think that the person who does this best, honestly, in the whole community is Evelyn. Like and you'll notice a very common theme. She does something that requires a lot of time and money and effort. And then she talks about what she did. And so then people get a savings of time and money by not having to do the time, spending the time and spending the money that she spent. And so they consume her post in 3 minutes and save 3 days. This is how you make content. Do epic shit, talk about what you did. And here's the cool part. You can talk about your failures and they're just as valuable. And so a lot of you guys make this mistake in thinking that it always has to be a split test winner. If you say, hey guys, I took my VSL and I split tested with all text and the VSL beat my all text by 3 to 1. Guess what happens? Everyone will be like, that was really useful. Thanks for that. And then you go back to reverting to your main VSL, which is a video sales letter for anybody who's new. That is just as valuable. But the key part that everyone's missing is do epic shit. You guys are missing that part. Do epic shit. Do a lot of reps and then talk about the reps you did. Anybody here can say, I did 100 posts on TikTok over the last 30 days. Here's what happened. Here's what I learned. That is valuable. But the piece that everyone's skipping is they just say, here's how you make good TikToks, but they never did the 100 TikToks. You could literally take the same post and just put, I did 100 TikToks, here are the results, here are my lessons. That post will outperform the second one 20 to 1. Because they'll believe you. All right. Coach Luna. What's up, Coach? I have been coaching football for the last 8 years. Gives me aspirational outcome proof. Cool. But it takes 9 to 12 hours a week. Fine. I'm concerned it could affect my focus on the business helping other coaches. Then again, without proof of relevance, can I fall into the trap you mentioned? Yeah, I don't think you should stop coaching. Honestly, right now, I like 9 to 12 hours a week is not, to me, that's like not, it's barely even part-time. I think that that'll also keep you in touch with what's new, what's happening right now, kids these days, whatever. And so I think having that pulse is not a bad idea. It's not uncommon for franchisors, for example, to have one test kitchen. And so as long as you don't let it balloon out and take more of your time, I see it as a valuable way to still have, like, it becomes your source of content. Like, let me tell you what happened this week, right? Like that, and basically talk through the problems that you guys are solving. Again, this applies to everybody. Talk about the stuff you're doing. Look at your calendar. Look at the everybody here, if you're an entrepreneur, you're solving problems every day. Talk about what you solved. Like I get questions like, Alex, how do you make so much content? I'm like, I do a lot of shit. I'm doing stuff all the time. And so I just talk about what I did. That's it. I look at my calendar. I'm like, oh yeah, that meeting. I forgot about that. Let me talk about that. Oh yeah, this meeting. I forgot about that. Let me talk about that. Like, that's how I do it. Like to whoever asked this earlier, effortless, look at your calendar. Look at what you did. Look at what problems you solved, and then solve it publicly for other people in a consolidated format. Danny, how does authority work in fields where goals are not clearly defined, but rather subjective? Self-improvement, philosophy, relationship advice. Well, the relationship one is pretty easy. But self-improvement, there's typically going to be some sort of bucket that they're going to put, like within a self-improvement or personal development audience, there are basically, you can clearly define what the goal is. And then people will come to you based on that goal. So Kirby was in personal development, and he was in the kind of productivity side of that. Ali Abdal is in the productivity side, right? And so some people, that is talking about getting more stuff done. The Atomic Habits book is about getting more stuff done, right? Habits, whatever. It could be around weight loss, which is personal development. It could be about making more money, which is personal development. So in the personal development space, it's very seeker heavy. It's a lot of rhetoric, very little action in general, which is why, honestly, I think it's just ripe for disruption right now. As a side note, I think the space is very tired. I think it's a lot of old dogs. And I think it needs some new dogs and some new tricks. That's just me. That's me, third party, looking at that space overall. But you will typically you want to have frameworks that help people do things. You want to help them change behavior in a very minute way. And so you will fall into the category of self-improvement. But the actual stuff you do and talk about will not be self-improvement. It will be how to get up on time. It will be how to resolve conflict. It will be how to attract a future mate, whatever it is. So it is a category, and the category itself is vague. So it'd be like asking me, well, how do you make business content? It's like, I can't ever make business content. I can talk about sales. I can talk about marketing. Business occurs. Self-improvement occurs. It's the aftermath of what happens after you teach someone how to do a specific action. So focus on the activities, focus on the inputs, focus on the change in behaviors that they can do with or without your implementation. That is what will create the content that's interesting, not self-improvement. I think that was a pretty good note. Dean Enfinger. I don't know, that might be a winner for last names. We have Yaya Enfinger if we were to combine the names here. Okay, started 4 days ago. Niches evidence-based health and fitness. Cool. My idea for content is just reviewing upcoming studies in the space and driving traffic to my community. Any suggestions or notes? Not really. Alan Aragon did that really well. Craig Knuckles has done that really well. I think Contreras did that. Brett Contreras did it for a while. Most of them, I think, what's his name? Mike Israetel does that very well. The thing is that I would consume their content because no one, and might sound mean, no one really cares. People want to feel scientistic. No one actually cares about science. Scientists do. But gym bros just want to appear intelligent and do stuff that is more proven. And if you look at Israetel's content, half of it is entertainment that he interjects into this stuff. And he's able to talk about the science because he's a fucking PhD, right? And that's what he did. And so this is me trying to help you avoid a bunch of pain in the ass. I think that it's going to be what you do between, also Derek More Plates, More Dates. So this is not a unique thing that you're trying to do, but look at the people, I gave you 6 people who all do that same thing. Look at the ones who do the best, which I'd say Israetel and More Plates, More Dates are probably the 2 best. Look at what they do besides the research studies and what evidence they have for them to be believable. So Israetel is a PhD. And so that's why he has the credibility and proof. And he starts every video by being I'm also an adjunct professor. I'm also a black belt in BJJ. And he's also jacked as hell, right? So I don't know how jacked you are, Dean, but that's the thinking process. All right. I hit time. I appreciate you all. Slay the day. And kaboom. Look at your bank account. Now look at mine. Now look at your bank account. Now back to mine. Sadly, it doesn't look like mine. But it could if you joined Skool. Come with me. Where are you? You're at a party, but not just any party, your party, and you get to decide who's invited. You can come in, my dear. You cannot. Give me your money. And because it's your party, it can be free or it can be paid. It's up to you. And you're talking about whatever you want to talk about because it's your party. Learning and having fun. Fun! But don't believe me, look at these numbers. This is the real leaderboard from last month. And sure, I could talk about Bill, who's making $62,000 a month, helping people bookkeep better. Or Jamie, helping women invest, making $41,000 a month. But what about the average Skool community? Well, the average paid community makes $1,360 per month. How about them apples? What's that? The ticket to the thing that you've always wanted to go to. My headquarters here in Vegas. Become one of the top 10 communities and you can fly out. Look over there. The ticket is now a torch. No, it's an engagement ring to the business of your dreams so that you can marry it forever. Because 1 out of 2 businesses on Skool create money online. Anything is possible on Skool. Click the link to start for free.